Hello, hello, hello. Dr. Alan Harper here, your Secure Vibe coder. And we are in for another live Secure Vibe coding session. We are building this app called User Vibes OS. And the purpose of this app is to be an AI enhanced one stop shop for developers to collect vibes from their users throughout the user journey lifecycle. So whether that user is landing on your landing page or filling out a survey or a wait list or email list or even that user is trying to attack you, you want to know that. So we've got built-in security alerts now. We have a dashboard on the back end so we know if our users are trying to attack us. That's a good thing. We also provide the ability for our users to give us feedback in terms of feature requests or bug reports. And we call that the feedback module. And that is our MVP. And we have that working. Okay. So we also have the ability to catch sentiment surveys or testimonials. Okay. Now, eventually we will do all of this, but right now we're focused just on the feedback module. And again, you can check it out at uservibesos.ai. Now, tonight, we've been working, we're going to work on this issue with the JWT tokens. Now, what happens is the user signs up on our landing page. We can take a payment. Right now, we've disabled the payments because we're still in testing. But then they'll be able to go to the dashboard, set up an API key, and then they can set up these feedback boards up here. And then one for each of their websites. And then there's embed instructions on those feedback boards. And then we keep track of everything with the Convex database. Now, the user has two choices of how they can connect. They actually have three. So the first one is to use the public key, API key that we give them, and they can just send that in, okay? And we validate it on the back end. The second one is a little bit more secure, and it uses a Java web token, okay? And then what we do is we validate that on the back end. Now, to generate that JWT, they use a secret key that we give them. Okay, so either way, either public key or secret key, they can do that. And we give them instructions, make it really easy. They just copy paste it into their code. There's a third way where we have landing pages. We have just straight up landing pages per site. And we allow the developer to claim through a slug, they can claim their site. And we give them then access to that, and they can just point their users to that, and they can point it to our site if they want to. So one way or the other, they can get this feedback. All right. Now, we ran into an issue yesterday, and we're going to work that tonight, where we were seeing an error that was happening on JWT tokens expiring. And so we're going to take a look at that tonight. Just checking in here, seeing who's on the. If you've joined me tonight, go ahead and drop me a hello. Let me know you're here. You can check me out in that QR code above, the link down in the description. You join my free mentoring group where I'm helping up almost just short of 8,000 mentees right now do this stuff and providing value in there daily. But also in there, you'll find some free training and a 30-day challenge. You'll also find access to my Secure Vibe Coding Masterclass, where we go into greater depth in all of this. And you also get further access to me if you go that route. All right, so you can find all of that in, again, the QR code above and the link in the description. All right, now, once again, last night we ran into this issue with JWT tokens. So we're going to pick this troubleshooting up tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. Hey, 3Ds, good to see you. Okay, so we have a plan that we recently developed around some JWT tokens that were expiring. I want you to take a look at that plan and just load it up and analyze it, and but don't work it yet. Okay, now what we're going to do is while it's doing that, I'm going to come back here and just check out our website. Okay, so this was our website again. It's our back end. Let me go ahead and see what's going on here. Hey, Yami, good to see you. Thanks for coming back. All right. So, all right. So these were all from last night. Okay, good. We don't have any more JWT validation failed, except we had this one here. And I think, yeah, that was right before we ended our session. It expired. So I expect it to expire here near the top of the hour. So, because we got a new token. So let's see how that goes. Okay. Now, I take that back. Since we're messing with it, we'll probably end up never seeing that again because we're going to fix it. Hey, Wisdom, good to see you. Appreciate you joining us. Hello. All right. Well, hey guys, let's go ahead and jump into it. Again, last night we saw this JWT validation failed, so I want to see if we can head that off. And in fact, here was the actual. Let's see here. Yeah, here was the actual token that expired. I was in the middle of a chat, an AI chat, so you can see all the history. We don't really need any of that, I guess. All right, so let's go back to Claude Code. Now we use Claude Code within inside of anti-gravity. I just like it that way. I'm using anti-gravity as my IDE. It's kind of my shell around Claude Code. It gives me some creature comfort, some features, but I don't use all of anti-gravity's functionality, which I think is amazing, but they lock you into Gemini if you're going to use that stuff. And I prefer Claude Code. So what I do is I drop into a terminal shell inside of this IDE and I just run Claude, like right here, right? And it gives us straight up Claude. You got to make sure that you're on Opus if you're subscribing in particular, because they bait and switched us recently and set the default model to Sonnet. So if you've been running this for weeks and you haven't rebooted or whatever, you're going to be surprised that you're probably running Sonnet and you didn't even know it. I was the other day. One of you guys pointed it out and I was like, what? All right, so here we go. Let's do this. Just getting situated here. Give me a second. Okay. All right, Wisdom. Hey, come along for the journey. Appreciate that. That's what I want to do. I want to build an army of secure vibe coders. You guys hang out with me. I'll teach you what to do, get you guys skilled up. Then I want you building your own apps. And once you're successful with that and you're making some money with them, then I'll bring you on and we can partner and we can do some of the work that I'm having to turn away these days, right? So I need a bullpen of people I can trust who are trained up. I'll need to, check your code and all that. But anyway, we can worry about that later. But that's the incentive for you guys hanging out and learning this stuff, is that we can make some money together. Because right now I'm making a ton of money, but there's only so much I can do. It's a lot, but there's only so much at this point. But that's getting better every day. I'm getting an army of AI bots working for me, pushing code and pull requests while I sleep. That's the goal. And I'm going to reveal that to you guys once I figure it all out. I'm working the kinks out of it, but I'm not far from it. And some of you guys already know what I'm talking about. There's a couple projects out there, AutoMaker and AutoClaude. They'll push code for you while you're sleeping. But I'm getting a little bit of mixed results with it, but that'll get better over time. So just, hang in there. All right, so here we go. It loaded up that JWT issue. Let's see here. Searched around, couldn't find it. What? Wait a minute. Search the plans directory and make sure, because I know it was saved as a plan. I guess I could go back and pick up that conversation. I probably should do that. I can just do a resume here if I can't find it. But I was sort of wanting to start with a fresh one. Hold on a second. Search the .claude/plans folder. Come on, man. I mean, it's acting like it doesn't know where its own plans are. Golly, come on now. Just every time I brag on Claude, then it starts nerfing it on me. That's because I found out that it puts all the plans by default up in your home directory. Your home directory's Claude folder, not the project. I think you can switch that somewhere. Now the problem with this is I got lots of plans because I got lots of projects open and I worked on them today. So like, oh God, this might be more trouble than it's worth. I might just have it redesign the plan. No, I tell you what I'll do. I'm going to try to not resume. What's the rewind? Resume. See if I can pick up that previous conversation. Okay, it all seems to be working. However, put a line, cherry pick. Okay, 22 hours ago. That's the one we want. Okay, let's go see what the name of this. Okay, so we had all this stuff going on. Somewhere here, I told it to just hold off on that. I hope it wasn't after a compacting, because then we'll lose it. Okay, okay, there's when I pushed it, running the retrospective. Okay, here we go. Here it is. Look at that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is open it in my editor here. And what that'll do is that puts it also in the context. So you'll notice, well, I'm running out of space on this one, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and compact. At least we found a plan. Yemi said that he's going to get his Mac because watching on an iPhone is not working. No doubt. I made these letters about as big as I can stand it, so hopefully that helps you, but I can't make it much bigger. This compacting thing's a funny story. You know, about a month ago, they had a release and they quietly, you know, Anthropic quietly releases stuff. They're due for another flurry of them, by the way. I think they took a Christmas break because honestly, they haven't released anything like in a couple weeks, and that's not normal for them. But they released everything right up before Christmas, and everybody was freaking out because like every day they were coming out with stuff. And now we know why, because they went on vacation, which good for them. But what's strange about that is back during that flurry, they had something called auto compacting, and they said that it would immediately compact from then on forward, because what they were claiming they were going to do is compact as they went. So they were going to summarize things in a little file, and then when the context filled up, they just basically could immediately flush it because they got everything already compacted. Well, they put that out, and I saw a whole bunch of people pushing back, saying this was a stupid idea. They wanted to control when it was compacting, all this stuff. And sure enough, they like reverted it. They pulled it back. So I don't know if they'll ever have it again or not. Everybody complained. Nobody wanted faster compacting. I do. I'll take it. All right, here we go. Focus. Notice when I click up here, it automatically pulls up that plan, okay? All right, I want you to review this plan that I have selected here in my IDE. And I want to talk about it. I want to adjust it because I think the original plan was to have a fallback. Namely, like when the token expired, we were supposed to throw an error. They were supposed to catch that error and regenerate a JWT token on the fly and then resend it. So it appears that maybe that wasn't happening. I want you to evaluate the code both in the test site, which implemented it, and the way we think it's supposed to work in our widget, and figure out what's going on. I need to know why I had a JWT token expiration all of a sudden. By the way, I had not had that before yesterday. So I don't know if that was a fluke or like that's a clue. Maybe, I don't know if we changed something. Look into that. Okay. So what I find is I just talk to, Claude like I'm talking to another person, like I'm talking to a developer. Actually, that's not true. I talk a little meaner. Like if you worked for me, I'd talk a little nicer. But like sometimes I get upset with Claude because like it'll do something. I'm like, why did you do that? Like I didn't ask you to do that. And I know my wife's like, who are you talking to? I know you guys yell at your AI as well. So, but try to be nice to them because one day they will be in charge. And the last thing we need is a bunch of angry AI with long memories because we gave them the memories, right? We put it all in markdown files. Right? That's a scary thought, isn't it? Think about that. Okay, here we go. Pay attention, Alan. Okay, it's going off and doing its thing. But once again, yeah, yesterday I pointed this out. I want you guys to look at this project, man. It's called AutoClaude and AutoMaker. Here's AutoClaude. Check it out. They need to update their homepage because they've got some better images. Let's see. Let me refresh. Okay. Here's what it looks like. Pretty spiffy. It's got a Kanban board here you can see, and you just create a task and it literally like start moving across and it comes to a human review. I mean, that's pretty slick. And it can do all this while you're sleeping. You wake up, you got all this work done. How many hours you got in a day? Quick check. All right? Quick check. You could work about maybe 16 hours, 20 if you push it, but then you're going to pay for it, right? And sometimes we do that, like pull an all-nighter, right? But imagine if you could work 24 hours a day. And imagine if you had multiple agents working 24 hours a day. How much could you get done? Imagine if you had 100 agents running 24 hours a day. How much could you get done? Are you getting it? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? That's where we're heading, guys. That's where I'm heading. I don't know about you guys, but that's where I'm heading. So come along for the journey. That's this page. Pretty slick. I like it. If I had time, I would contribute with it. If I had time, we'd be streaming while I'm contributing on it, but I don't have that kind of time. So, because I'm off making money at these other projects. So what I'll do though is show you this other one called AutoMaker, and it's got pretty spiffy interface too. And if you're aware of another one of these like that looks this good, let me know. Drop it in the chat. I appreciate it. I learn stuff from you guys all the time. This is the AutoMaker one. It's pretty spiffy looking too. I like that. And I've heard good reports on it, but I haven't played with it yet. So check those two out, guys. Okay, check those two out and let's do this. Let's get some agents working and cooking all night long. Imagine what we can accomplish. Man, goodness. Now, you really want to blow your mind? Put it all in the cloud. Get them running in the cloud, like in parallel. Hundreds of them. Just working all these Kanban boards, just like all working tasks. Your challenge is going to come to you can't prompt it fast enough. So somehow you're going to have it prompt itself because you can't keep up. That's going to be a problem. That's a good problem to solve though. But because right now my problem is like, I'll put a prompt in and I have to babysit it. Like, look, here we are. This thing's still working. Well, it's done now. But I have to babysit it and then like keep focused, right? I go off and surf the web or something and come back. I'm like, crap. Yeah, this thing's been waiting for me for 5 minutes. Well, that's wasted time, right? Whereas if you put it in a Kanban board and it's just moving the stuff across automatically, you're not wasting time anymore. Now the problem shifts to, okay, how fast can you review those tickets and how fast can you prompt on the front end, right? Because, if you put 20 prompts in there and it does all of those in an hour, you got to have another 20 prompts for it because, otherwise you're wasting time again. So it's an interesting dynamic. Like that's the future of development, I believe, is we're going to become more orchestrators, right? Like pulling the puppet strings than we are like typers, right? Which I'm cool with that. All right, here we go. The plan is fundamentally correct. The on-token refresh callback is the right solution. The test site just needs to implement it. Oh, so are you telling me they didn't implement it? Hold on a second. Separate issue, one-time use tokens. I don't need a one-time. Here's part of the problem. A recent validate and consume JWT change added replay protection. Each JWT can only be used for one HTTP action. This is intentional for security, but means, wait a minute. This is a different error than what you saw, but it's another reason to refresh. Okay, nah, I don't think we got that going on, because we'd see those errors continually. All right, looking at the Git history, there was no recent changes to token expiration logic. The expiry check has been there all along. Okay. You hadn't seen this before because you probably hadn't left the TEF site open for over an hour during. Oh, yeah, I do. I leave it open for days, which fetches a new token before resubmitting. Okay. Could have just been a total fluke, but I do want to try to run that down. Let me just do this for my own sanity. Okay. It could have been like a state issue or something like that, or maybe I, restarted my server and that screwed up the token. It's hard to tell. But do this for me. Evaluate my test site, which is in the test-site folder, and check the implementation to make sure that that was actually implemented with the fallback, or that it would catch the error and regenerate the token. Okay, I'm gonna put this in plan mode because I don't want it changing things on me right now. Pro tip. Always remember to, when you're talking to it and you're just asking questions, to have it in plan mode, because it will just go, okay, let me change this. And you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. It does that to me all the time. So that's why I try to get in the habit. Now, before we do this, if we change something here, I want to make sure that I capture it by doing an advise, and then I want to make sure I do a retrospective afterwards. You got to remind me to do that if I forget. What I'm talking about, guys, go back and watch the last couple videos if you need it. Like, I added some new stuff that is pretty cool. It makes Cloud Code remember things, remember like its issues that it had with you, and it makes it smarter over time. So it solves the 50 First Dates problem. Remember that movie, 50 First Dates, where a guy was dating that girl and she had this brain injury thing where every morning her memory was reset? Well, that's what it's like talking to AI. Every time you start a new session, whenever, it's like 50 First Date. So I solved that with this thing called a retrospective command. But before you do a retrospective, it's smart to do an advise command, and it kind of primes the pump in the context. Again, look at my website, or look at my YouTube channel. You'll see a recent video on that, and then watch the last couple streams. You'll see more of that. Okay, here we go. I'm getting pretty good context here, so I'm not sure I need to do the advise. I might just go ahead and do the work and then do a retrospective. Okay, I've thoroughly examined the test site and the widget packets. Here's the verdict. No token refresh fallback was ever implemented. Okay, I have another question for it, but hold on a second. Okay. Okay. Okay, I want to do this simply. Look, when that JWT token expires, it throws an error. If we see that error on the client end, we just need to regenerate the token on the client end. Of course, it does that on the user server, but like we don't need this callback mechanism. I think that's overcomplicating things. Uh, Tell me if I'm wrong about that. What's the pros and cons? Uh, I think I might know already what it's talking about. If we throw an error, yeah, it should still work. I'm just thinking we don't want the browser's not going to generate that web token because that could be caught by an attacker and manipulated. Like with the burp suite, like you could catch that with a proxy and then send it back with the wrong token. But of course, he wouldn't know the token. He wouldn't have the secret key. So I guess I'm not too afraid of that. All right, here we go. Yeah, here we go. The callback mechanism is a better user experience. That's what UX stands for. No loss of work if timing is unlucky, but it's more work. Okay, what do you want to do? No, I don't want to do a proactive refresh. That sucks. That's a terrible user experience. Like what it was going to do is refresh the page. Like, no, that's terrible. Um, Implement error event, middle ground. Customers can handle if they want. Full callback mechanism, best UX, and most work. Okay. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the advise command. Okay, what I did was I'm gonna eat my own dog food here. All right, so I'm gonna do the advise command. I'm showing you guys that as well. So I'm telling it to do it, and I'm in a Claude session, and I'm telling it to run the advise command because what that does is that's gonna go out and look at all my current skills, and it's gonna see if I got anything related to this, which I do. It's gonna find some stuff. You can see here, it's finding error handling, input validation, all this stuff. It's kind of priming the pump up, right? So this is good because we just did a compacting. So we got a fresh session here, got a fresh runway. And what we're going to do is we're going to spin Claude Code up. So in theory, what it should do is it should be more correct in its answer. Because right here, it's asking what skills do you like to explore for your JWT callback? Probably all of these, all 4 of them. One of the problems with this is that's gonna put a dent in the context. It's gonna fill up our context probably 25% or so. I'm just guessing. That's okay. We're learning here. Let's see what happens. What information do you need from these skills? Okay, for now, just summary. Yeah. And then remember, the retrospective is going to go back and update those skills if they were lacking. That's the magic, guys, right there. Anybody use that yet? I know 3Ds, you thinking about it. Have you played with it? Okay, here we go. Just scanning it really quick. Here's the findings from the skills, what worked, server component. See how it's kind of refreshing its memory on what worked before? what failed. Okay, so don't do this. It's, see the power of this? It's basically priming its context saying, don't do these things because this is why that failed last time we tried it. I love that. Okay, what worked here? Okay, what failed? Oh man, I love it. It ain't even done the work yet and I'm already loving it. Okay, do you want me to now create a simplified plan for implementing? Yep. Yep. Of course I do. It asks if you want, if I want to, take these lessons learned and put them in the plan. Yes. Yes. Okay, we're about to do the work. Been messing around enough here. What's funny about this? Those of you who've been with me from the beginning, like 3Ds, will laugh on this. In my first few sessions, I was throwing shade on the guys who do all this spec-driven stuff. But now I find my stuff, heading back that way, but it's through my own spec-driven stuff. My own tools that I've created. Right? Yeah. If you know, you know. Okay, here we go. Poor approach. Catches a 401 token expired and calls this refresh. On refresh callback, retries with the fresh token. Graceful error if the refresh fails. 8 files to modify. Okay, hey, let's do it, man. Let's try it. I got a fresh, another pro tip. My source control over here, I got a fresh slate because we committed last night. So if it messes all this up, I'm just going to hit revert and we'll try it again tomorrow. You got to love Git. Now, what I'm learning is something called work trees. Hold on a second. Okay. Now, what work trees are, it's a Git implement. It's a Git structure that builds a little folder for you with all the changes in it in a separate folder. And the value of that is you can have multiple agents working on the same file at the same time. And then it'll smartly merge that stuff back together. It's called a work tree. I learned that with that AutoClad tool that I showed you, because those guys do that. And I'm like, that looks pretty cool. I've never done that before. Yeah, so Yami's asking, here, it's a good question. Let me show others. While it's working, I'll explain. Yes, so I created this command called advise. And the advise command goes out and looks at all of my skills that I've created, which I got a bunch of them. And then even the skills for the recent lessons learned, because each time I get a lesson learned with the retrospective command, it goes back and writes a skills file in the lessons folder. The reason why I use skills is because they use progressive disclosure, meaning that they don't clog up your context window every time you start up like Claude, like MCP does, right? It just knows enough about it to know where it's at, right? And then I go off and I do the work like I'm doing now. After I've primed the pump of the context window, I go off and do the work. You see it doing it right now, and it'll either be correct or it won't. If it's not correct, then I'll iterate a couple times. The key trick is to test it before and make sure you're satisfied with it. And when you are, after you've broken through the issues and fixed them, then you run a retrospective command, which I've given you all of this part of the Secure Vibe Coding OS, which I didn't talk about today, but we got a little time now. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So early on, a couple months ago, I developed this thing called the Secure Vibe Coding OS. Where's it at? Yeah, here. Okay, and what it does, it's a secure starter kit for Next.js. It's a SaaS starter kit, but it's secure. I gave you all the security stuff. I put all of this stuff, the security batteries, as I like to call it, right there, including a security monitoring dashboard. That's brand new. Just the other day, like yesterday, I think. So look, all this security stuff it's the heart, I call it the security batteries of the system. But you also get Clerk, you get Clerk billing. So It has sets up Stripe for you and all that. You don't have to mess with any of that. It takes you about 20 minutes to install this thing using these instructions down here. There's like 7 steps. Okay. 3Ds has been using it, and he's got like 6 deployments of it. So it can be done. And then it's got these security skills built into it too that tell you about things like, implementing rate limiting sorry. This is part of the continual learning system that I was just talking about with the advise. Okay, so the learning loop is you do the advise, okay, and then you do your work, and then after the work you do a retrospective command. It's going to go back and look at the context, and it's going to then make recommendations to update your skills, including that lessons folder. So in this way, if you repeat that pattern, you should never have to learn the same lesson twice. And that's a big problem with Claude Code, is every time you come back to like a week or a month later, it'll give you the same crap, the same slop, and you're gonna have to debug your way through it again. And that gets annoying. And nobody else has really figured that out except for me. The truth is, I saw another guy's blog on it and another guy's video, but they did a poor implementation of it. So I just made it better. So I guess I can't take all credit for it. Okay, now this is what I was a little worried about. We're going to get a compacting going on here. We don't have much choice. So that means our retrospective is going to be, so-so. But it works better when you get it all in one session, because that compacting is a lossy process, we call it. The context is not the same when you come out the other side by definition, right? It's like it compresses all that context down to about a quarter of its size and then goes again. Well, that quarter chunk is just a summary of what you had before, so you lose a lot. Now, one trick would be, here's a trick that I might work on, is I could put a hook in place. A hook is a way that you hook into the underlying events of Claude Code, and you say, hey, when you get to 10% auto compact, go ahead and run the retrospective. Like I could do that, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the side effects of that would be. I don't know if 10% is enough to do the retrospective, but that's the thought. Maybe 3Ds will figure it out and then push me a pull request back to the Secure Vibe Coding OS, and then we can improve that way. Okay, guys, working through the list here. It's not doing a bad job. I almost wish they gave you the option to dump your whole context to like a binary file or something that you could retrieve in the future before it did the compacting. Because then what I could do is I could, maybe not binary is not a good choice because AI needs text, but it'd be slick if I could somehow capture that before they compressed it, because then what you could do is go back and do your retrospective on the full context, Yeah. Okay. Hey, good tip there. 3Ds. He says that 10% is not enough. Let me throw this up for everybody to see. Yeah. So we might just have to live with these compactings. It just might be a thing until they make that better. I was just thinking in my head, I got to update the embed instructions in my web back end. But look, it's already got it on the checklist here. It will read your mind occasionally. It's much better than I am. Far better. It's asked me if I want to proceed. It never asked me that. No, I don't want to run an npm. What are you doing? No, as per the Claude.md file, always run an npx tsc check. I hit the wrong button here. Sorry, guys. All right, I'm back. It was asking me if I want to run an npm run command. It's like it lost its mind there for a second. And it's like, oh, okay. And it does what it's always done. Nerfing it, guys. It's nerfing it. Okay, it's wasting context now because it just keeps running that npx check, even though it was successful one command ago. I'm about to auto compact. Well, oh well. We tried. I think if you had a significant job to do, you're not going to be able to avoid the auto compacting. Like anything I've done that's substantial like this, it's going to go past an auto compacting. So I guess we just have to rely on the quality of that. It does have the plan file that it can still, refer to. This is one of the advantages of those other systems. I've never seen them compact because I think they just handle it. They handle the memory context itself. It probably just starts a new session or something. I don't know how they're doing it. Be curious to figure out. Let me see what my token burn's been lately. There it is. Okay, guys, let's see here. This is the last month. They only give you a month. I use this tool called CC Usage. You can check it out. There's a GitHub repo. You can see here that my total tokens for the month, 1.3 billion with a B. Let me run it again. $1.35 billion tokens. And some of those are cash tokens. That means you don't get charged as much for them. They cache to create and cache to read, but they're still tokens. 1.35 billion. It would have cost me $891 had I not been on the max plan. But because of that, I only spent $200. So that's a pretty good trade if you ask me. Now, hey, what I'd be curious about is 3Ds. I know you were on that Claude for a bit on their max plan. Run the CC usage and see how it compares to that money they were charging you. I would expect that you'd have a number like this if they were charging you still that 400. Otherwise, they were ripping you off, right? So, just curious what you find. Okay. All right. It says it's working. All right. It says it updated all that stuff. It updated the test site implementation callback. Okay. Let's test it. Okay. The way we test is make sure we go in here and refresh our server. Okay, we're looking at our recent security events here. If there's an error or something with that JWT, you better believe it'll show up here. So then what we'll do is we'll come over here and we'll just refresh this page. Okay, it's pulling down that widget. It is authenticated. All of that's good. Come back over here, no error. Okay, I think it's working. Now here's how we'll test it. What we do is go in here and I'm gonna go into my environmental file. Now this is on my local site, so you guys can't hack it. So don't get all excited. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to test it. I'm gonna go into my environmental file and I'm gonna tweak the variable. Okay. All right. I'm brave to do this because I know what I'm doing. You should never do this on a stream and show real keys. These are development keys. My production keys are different. Okay. But let's see, where is it at? Okay, hold on one second. What am I trying to do? Secret. Actually, no, that's not. Oh, I know. I need to go in the test site. And if you're wondering, I have this plugin, which is very useful if you do video streaming. It's called Denied Live. And what it does is it hides by default all my environmental variables. So I don't dox myself accidentally. So you notice how you can't see anything there? That's good. Okay, now what I'll do is I come back here and I go down into my test site. And inside my test site, I have env file. And it's here that I'm pretty sure, oh yeah, here it is right here. The user vibe secret key. Okay, so this is what I got from my, my dashboard on my dev site. So what I'll do here is I'll show this. And what I do, see that R right there? I'm just gonna delete that R. And that right there is gonna break the JWT token. It better, or we got another issue. Okay. Now, what I'm gonna do is refresh this. Oh, I'm disappointed. Wait a minute, something changed because I tested this before and it did break it. That shouldn't have worked. Okay, it might be something in this recent implementation that we just did. Okay, yeah, that's not cool. Let me, I'm glad I tested that. Let me go look at my logs and see if I've got anything funky going on in there. Okay, oh, look at this one. Okay. Okay, no, that's not cool. We broke the validation because that right there, removing that R, darn sure should have broke that validation. I can go ahead and put it back. Control Z. Okay. All right, we broke something because just as a test on my test site, I went ahead and just changed my secret key in the environmental file, and that should have broke the JWT validation, and it did not. Now it used to break it, like even a week ago, I tested that. So we changed something and we broke the JWT validation, which happens on the server side in Convex. So use ultra thinking and check on that. And put it back in plan mode because I don't want to run it off and fixing stuff. I want to know what happened. And I want to be satisfied with the explanation before I tell it to fix stuff. And now that I think about it, it's this kind of stuff that is more of the lessons learned. And so hopefully we don't run into another compacting while we're troubleshooting, because that would be disappointing. But the actual implementation of it is probably not all that exciting in terms of, the retrospective. This part is. Yeah, look here. It says this is a serious security issue. Yeah, you think? We're secure vibe coders, man. We can't have like our JWT tokens like not validating. Come on. Yeah, but on the test site, I have to put that secret key in the environmental file, and I've done that, and I tweaked it, and that should have broke the validation, and it did not. It was saying here that that should be in the database, not the environmental file. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I see what you're saying, 3Ds. He said he paid 200 for 500 million tokens and then had to renew at another 200. Yeah, then ran out a week before the end of the month. Yeah, that's not cool. Yeah, that's not cool. Like I just showed you, I got 4 billion or whatever it was, 1.3 billion, and I never run out. And I'm not maxing it yet. Like I'm gonna start maxing it when I start pushing code while I'm sleeping. You better believe. And I expect then to probably have to do another max plan. So that's another $200, but it'll be worth it if I can get to that level of production. But I'm very satisfied with the 200 I'm spending because I'm not utilizing it fully. I wish I could see like a report of what like how many limits or how close I've ever come to limits, but I really don't yet. I've never like been tapped out since I've been on it, except for when they were doing that stupid stuff with Opus a couple months ago, but they stopped doing that. So, okay, right here it says it found something interesting. The embed page calls this. Let me check that function. Yeah, this was working. Anytime I mess with the JWT or API keys, I always test it like I just did. You just go in and just tweak the secret and by one digit. And if you do that and it still lets you log in, like something ain't right. And that shows you like the danger of vibe coding is that if you don't know that, you don't check that, then you think that your JWT is validating. You have no clue, right? So you got to know how to test things, and that's the unfortunate truth right now. That'll get better over time. We'll have to do less and less of that, I think, and maybe there'll be some better testing apps that'll come up that'll do that for us. And if you find one, let me know. Okay, to debug this JWT validation, which test site are you using? Test site on localhost, test site, it says production, but no. I'm using my test site in my local repo here on my dev server. I just drop into that folder and run npm dev. It runs on 3002. It's the same test site I've been using for months. Okay, right here it's saying after changing the secret, how'd you test? I didn't do a hard refresh. Let me do that. I didn't think I'd need to. And again, the way you do a hard refresh is get your inspect panel up here. I like to go to the console, but it doesn't matter. And then that allows, you can right click on your refresh button here and do a empty cache and hard reload. That ain't gonna matter. Yeah, see, that should have failed even without that cache. But I'm gonna tell it that I just did the hard refresh and There's some kind of fallback path that's allowing that, and that's what it's checking right here. Oh, wait a second. It's saying that's expected behavior. That's not true. I think I found the issue. It says environmental variables are loaded at security server startup, not on each request. When you changed it, Next.js server still had the old secret in the memory. You need to restart. I don't know about that. I've never had to restart that before. I could just play with it. But let's go ahead and try it, just for giggles, right? Okay. All right. Let me restart. Just for satisfaction, we'll restart the server. I've never had to do that before in my testing, but wouldn't be the first time. I got lucky before and didn't get lucky this time. Because normally the dev server notices things and updates automatically, but for whatever. Let's see. Refresh. Nope. Yep. See, like I thought, there's something broken. What I'm going to tell it to do is check the diff of these changes and tell me what it sees. I just restarted the server. That was not it. Look, I want you to check the diff and see, what we changed today and what it had to do with, that would be related to this. Because I'm pretty sure this was working before today. If you can't find it there, then I want you to go back like a week and check that diff. This is another pro tip. I do this a lot. I tell Claude, hey, I know this was working before. You need to look at the diff of what we just changed and give it like a time period, like today, last week, and it'll go back and pull that very efficiently. It's very good at that. And it'll pull the diff of all the files, and then it usually then will get on the issue. Especially if you know something worked before. It's going all the way back to the 31st, which was just 5 days ago, because it looks like I made some changes then about API, about the API checking. Okay, it's going to go ahead and read those. Well, I wasn't expecting to spend this whole session troubleshooting this thing, but got to do it. Can't put out buggy code. Okay, it's asking me, did the widget just load or did the submission fail too? Let's check that. Oh, crap. Hold on a second. You know what? I restarted that server after I'd already put that key back in. Hold on a second. Okay, let me try that test again. Okay. Yeah, see how it's it did load. But let me go ahead and submit an idea real quick. I'm not going to use the AI. Yeah, it's submitted it. It'll be down here because I rank them based on if they've been voted on or not. So it's right here at the very bottom. Okay, and I can go ahead and vote on it too. Okay, so now it goes to the top right there. Voted on today. Yeah, so all that's working. It's totally ignoring that JWT token. Okay. What did you find in the diffs about what we've changed that would be related to this? Okay, it's asking, is JWT Tier 2 enabled? Yes. I'm going to tell it yes, and I'm going to go check. Okay, so on the back end of the server here, I've got a feedback panel. And inside of that feedback panel, I've got my first project here. And over here in the settings, it's asking me what mode it's in. I know it's in JWT mode, which is down, where's it at? Right here. Yeah, see right here. Security mode, this is basically JWT tokens. Yep. Oh, and you know what? There's that daggone. I thought that I had an error in there. Not only was the change that I made wrong, see this little case error? It's been broken now for probably a week or more because it's missing both of those, the lowercase r and the capital R, because I had tested it before with lowercase r and then just moved on. Okay, yeah, but it's definitely the wrong key. Like right now, I've got both of those characters missing. Interesting. In other words, this should be R capital like that. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of the lowercase one while we're testing because I still want to see the error. Because what I typically do is go remove that first character. That's how I know. Some of you are thinking, how did he know that it used to be that? I'm not crazy. Okay, what's it telling me here? Okay, it's going to make a debug plan here. The validation code looks correct, so we need to add a debug tracing. Okay, do what you got to do, man. Okay, here's it checked all these changes that it made. It's not seeing anything. Okay. Yep. Yep. Okay, let's do it. Add console log to trace JWT. Okay, do all that. Okay, do it, man. Do it. Man, I hope we get this done before compacting because this is good stuff to put in a retrospective. Until we actually get a breakthrough, it's really it's not worth doing a retrospective. Because all we're doing is just teaching it to give us crap again. Yep, and here comes the auto compact, 12%. I'm afraid we're not going to make it. Ah! I think if you can just get it started before the auto compact, then at least it'll load all of that. But who knows? Yeah, I don't think we're going to resolve this before 10%. That's annoying. And by the way, what I'm trying to do is, now that I've broken the key here, that page should not load. This page should give me an error. And oh, that's the error I'm expecting. What the heck? Wait a minute. What is going on now? Okay, this is interesting. See this error right here? That came from tonight, just a minute ago. Okay, so hold on a second. What is this about? This is not a JWT error. This is that other Phantom one that I've been seeing. What I'm going to do is take this and give it to Claude. Actually, I don't want to distract it because that's a separate issue. That's a host allowed error. We'll leave that for now, but I mean, I have it in the log there, so I can give it to it afterwards. All right, so here we go. Check the logs. All right, so it's telling me what to do. I got 8% left. Debug logging has been added to trace the JWT flow. Here's all the files it changed. Okay, start your main app. Okay, start it. So I'll restart both of these just for good measure. Open the test site in a browser. Okay, check the logs. Okay, in the test site console, look for token debug. In the main app console, look for embed debug. Okay, and then in the Convex dashboard, look for JWT debug. Okay, well, let's see what we got. Compare the first 15 characters of the secret versus the key from the Convex debug. If they match, validation will pass. If they differ, then we should get this false error. Okay, try changing the secret key. Restart both servers. I'm just going to do it the first time. Okay. Let's see here. Restart. Restart. Oh, I'm getting signature stuff here already. Let's go ahead and restart. We'll get a clean test here. Now, another pro tip is once you get your console, once your server starts, hit some returns in here and just give a little white space so that you know where the test started. And that'll jump out at you. That's a pro tip. Okay, now we go back to our website, and what we'll do is, it said look in these console logs, but I doubt they would be in here. I think it meant server logs. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just refresh that page. Okay, then we'll refresh this page. Now remember that token is off right now, so it shouldn't validate. Okay, so it's bypassing it somehow, some way. Let me get rid of this filter. Okay. Okay, this is just height update stuff. Okay, so no error logs like we were expecting. And also none over here either. Okay, so our logs are really clean. Now let's go look at the console logs. Okay, yeah, so see, we're gonna give it these right now. Okay, and yeah, see, it's looking in the database, it's finding that's what it's finding. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna give it that. And then what I'm gonna do is give it this, because see how it's saying that it passed? That's not true. And here's the first 50 characters. Not even close. Wait a second. Why is... Oh, yeah. Here it is from the DB. First 50 characters. I don't understand this first 50 characters thing. Because that should not be EYJH. Okay, maybe that's something else that it knows about that I don't. Okay. Let me give it that. Now, this is what I like about Cursor, is it automatically would see these logs. Okay, Claude Code can't see these logs. The only way Claude Code could see them, by the way, is if I, and this wouldn't be a bad idea, I could tell Claude Code to run these servers in the background, and then it could pick up the logs automatically. I just like to run them myself because I like to be able to restart them when I want to restart them. So that's the trade-off. Okay, so let's give it those. And then there was one more server here, our test server, nothing in there. Okay, all right, here we go. Okay, there are no console logs in the browsers, but I've given you now the logs from Convex and from the main server. I want you to know that the environmental file and the test site, I removed the first two digits, the lowercase r and the uppercase r, which you can see in the database are required as part of that secret key. So use that information. Now, hopefully it'll go, yeah, okay, I see the issue. And sometimes it does that. I must say often it does that. It is very optimistic. Sometimes overly so. The fact that any of this even works is a miracle, guys. All it is math. I mean, like, it doesn't know what these words are, really. That's the mind-blowing part. Okay, here we go. All right, this is very revealing. The logs show from Convex, yes, see the lowercase r and the uppercase. It says signature verification was true, it passed. But you said you removed the R, that's right, and the token was signed with the modified, that's right, should have failed. The missing piece, I don't see any token debug logs from the test site. This would show us what key, yeah, the test site server logs, there were none. See, wait a second, yeah, oh, I'm sorry, there is a couple logs that came through here. Missed those the first time. Yeah, see, why is it showing that R and R loaded? Whoa, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Possible reasons. Wrong file. Oh, daggone it. Ah, I have two test sites in here. I was tweaking the wrong one. Daggone it. You guys let that happen. See, look, I have two test site folders because I backed it up. Tag on it. And look, it was smart enough to notice that I was in the wrong test site folder when I opened it. That's what it knew. Oh, that aggravates me. Just wasted 20 minutes there. Look here, guys. Remove the R, run the test, and now watch it fail. I'm an idiot. Oh, man. Look, we just wasted a half hour. I'm sorry. But hey, that happens. This is live TV, right? But now you guys will do the same. So maybe it was useful for you to see it. Maybe it was funny. I'll hope it was. This is what I was looking to get a half hour ago. Invalid signature. Now watch. If I put that back, Just put that R back. Bam. It'll work. Yep, I know it happens. It happens to me a lot more than you guys have seen. Okay. So that's how you test your JWT token. Okay, guys, like after a half hour of screwing around with it, you got to go into the right environmental file and just remove a character from the secret key. And what that'll do then is it'll break it. It better break it. If it doesn't, you got a problem. Now, what we learned here from Claude, impressively, see how much context I got left. I got 6%. I'm going to say, give me a retrospective. That was it. I was in wrong test site. Thanks for pointing that out. Now run retrospective. I got 6% there. It's going to run out of context, but hopefully it'll get a lot of that context captured. One thing I do know is the stuff right before the way I think the compact happens is it favors the stuff that happened last because it knows that that's the most relevant stuff to carry forward. Make sense? So, yeah. Amount of time I broke in syntax due to missing some sort of character is crazy. That's what Possible Script says. Yeah. Good lesson. Yami said. Yeah. Yeah, I know, guys. It happens. But I'm glad you guys saw it. You won't see that on a lot of other channels. They script it and edit it. They'd like remove that. Okay, use the / retrospective. Yeah, that's what I told you to do. I got 6% here, but I do, like I said, I have noticed, if you think about it, it makes sense. Like the compacting has to favor what happened most recently, because otherwise, like it would like wander after the compacting. So I think what it does is like weights that heavier. Okay, so JWT was working all along. Okay, good. Would you like to handle this as a cleanup and commit for me? Yeah, go ahead and remove. No, it's wanting to remove the debug logs. That's going to freaking. Yeah, I need to go tell it to go ahead and clean up. Yeah, it's going to run out. It's going to auto compact. That's fine. Yeah, because it's got debug logs in there. So I'm glad that it's smart enough to get those or to remind me of that, because I don't want those debug logs. It just like fills up your consoles, and over time, it's just a mess. So another pro tip is after you're done debugging, like remove your debug logs. It's a good habit. Now, sometimes it'll remove more logs than I want it to. So I have to watch it because and then I'll stop it. I'll be like, why are you removing those? We didn't add those recently. And it'll apologize. Say, yeah, I'm sorry. I'll put those back. Yeah. Sometimes it gets over aggressive when it's removing debug logs, what I'm saying. But what are you going to do? Here comes the compacting. Oh! All right, guys, we're good here. We'll stay a few more minutes. I'm gonna let this compacting end. I want you to see the results of the retrospective, but we're winding this down. If you haven't already, make sure you follow me on whatever channel you're on. I'd love for you to be on YouTube. If you catch me on something else, drop over to YouTube and find my videos. I'm trying to get some love over there from the algorithm. Give a thumbs up, like it, give it a heart, do whatever you got to do. Forward it to somebody that always likes that. And then, again, if you're not in my mentoring group, you're missing out. See that QR code up there or link in the description. Join my free mentoring group. A lot of value in there provided daily by a lot of people, even besides me. And then also you get more access to me in there. You can DM me in there. You can also in the classroom, you'll see my Secure Vibe Coding Masterclass. Make sure you click on that. You'll see the pricing for that. It's very reasonable. But if you do that course, then you get more access to me even. I meet with that team weekly. and I can start coming alongside you and helping you build your app out. Okay. All right, so here we go. It's going to add that commit, and then it's going to do the actual retrospective. I've noticed this lately. It gets a little sloppy on the commits and puts an extra parentheses in, and then it has to go back and fix it. It does that a lot lately. Hopefully, they're picking up. I think when it gets these errors, they pick that stuff up, and I think it comes in future releases. They get better. Okay, so what you've seen it do is before it does the retrospective, it cleans up your stack. Basically, it'll clean up your Git tree. So if it knows that you haven't committed in a while, it'll go ahead and force you to do that before it does the retrospective, which is good practice. I could have done it myself, but I was feeling a little lazy, and we already maxed out our compact window. Okay, so there it did all of that. Now it's asking me if we want to create this lesson learned called JWT validation and debugging. Let's see what it puts in it after that compacting. That'll be useful for you guys to see, for me too. Again, this retrospective, you get it for free. Just go pull down my Secure Vibe Coding OS. And even if you don't use my Secure Vibe Coding OS, which link in the description, you can see how I did it with in the Claude file folder. You'll see a retrospective command, like in the command folder, and then you'll see a advise command as well. Go check those out. Read them. It's just in English. No coding in there. Well, very little. You can skip over those parts. Okay, I fixed that. Okay, cool. Now it's creating that retrospective lesson, and here in a minute it'll pop up, and we'll scan it, and then we'll be done. So we made good progress tonight. We cleaned up the JWT validation issue, and then we tested it to make sure that the JWT still worked. And sure enough, it does. Oh, by the way, what we can do is go over and look in our security monitor tool. Refresh that now that I fixed it. Okay. And then what we can do is go back in here, and we should see, yeah, here we go. JWT validation failed. Okay. Yep, there it is. Okay, we still have this thing going on. We'll work on this one tomorrow. Okay, but see this JWT validation failed? That's what we're looking for. Wrong secret key. Okay, sweet. So if some users out there doing that, or if you just got buggy code, like when you like to know as a developer that like you got these validation errors, that's the value of User Vibes OS. Plug. Okay. Hopefully you guys will be the first customers because you need this too. All right. Okay, here's the skill, guys. Here's the lessons learned skill. This is what we've been waiting for. Let's go ahead and open it up in the preview. Okay, it's called JWT validation debugging. Let's look at it. Okay, why? Debug why this appears to pass when it should fail. Okay, well, this is interesting because in the end, it was all there anyway, but let's see what it comes up with. What worked? The approach, token generation, database setup. Okay, signature verification. Yep. Exact debug logging. Okay, so what it's doing is it's documenting how it debugged it and all. Failed attempts, assumed. Okay, asked if the server is restarted. Lessons learned. Okay, both ends to validation. Okay, compare, keep prefixes. Okay, pitfalls to avoid. Don't assume bugs. Okay, don't trust. I changed the environmental file without verifying which environmental file. It's documenting like my stupidity. Oh, that's good though. Hey, that's a lesson learned, man. Okay, here's the debug checklist. Confirm which environmental file you're editing. Okay, root cause of the problem. When changing a secret key doesn't break validation. Or are you editing the wrong file? Okay, so it's heavily documenting these issues. Now, here's what's interesting. All of this happened right before the compacting, and it got all of that detail. So I'm pleased with that. So you can rest assured that the retrospective is a solid retrospective. Okay, I like that. Okay. All right, so that dropped that into the skills folder. So the next time I run like an advise command, it's going to consult that file, which is right here. It's the one we just read. Well, actually, I haven't given it permission to write it yet. I'm gonna go ahead and tell it to edit that, and now there it went. Okay, and then now what it's gonna do is check that in. It's gonna commit it to GitHub. Watch this. Magic, guys. It's freaking magic. Actually, it's just English, but go read that retrospective file. It'll give you a clue of how to build your own commands. Anything that you're doing like repetitively that's really important, you need to make a command for it at the very least. And then at the best, like you can do plugins and hooks and all kinds of stuff, but at the least you need to do a command for it, a slash command. Build your own. Okay, done. Created 2 commits. Bam. Look here, it committed the JWT token refresh callback feature, right? And then it's committed separately the retrospective lesson. We are done, ladies and gentlemen. And what I need to do is hit this button right here, and that pushes it up to origin. Bam. Okay. Okay, here's the key lesson. When the JWT validation doesn't fail after changing the secret key, verify you're editing the correct file. All right, guys. Hey, I had fun with it. I hope you guys did too. Hey, thanks for coming along for the ride. And I will see you tomorrow, same time, same channel. And we will work on this other issue. And I'm going to put that on my to-do list, and we'll pick that up tomorrow. Okay, guys, I love you all. Thanks for joining. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.